Everyone that's on the live stream, we are now currently getting ready to get synced up with the International Podcast Day, folks. So there's some transitionings happening with the International Podcast Day. They're going to be sending links out here in a few minutes. So if we don't start right at the top of the hour, please just be patient. All right, Steve, it looks like we're up. So we'll give them 2 minutes here, then we'll start right at the top of the hour, all right? All right, sounds good. And for everyone on the stream, we'll start right at the top of the hour. So the countdown clock is on. Get your tweets out now. PCA18 is the hashtag, or you can go ahead and tweet from the tweet. I'm sitting on the Podcast Awards Twitter account right now. We're less than 1 minute here from start of the award ceremony. So everyone, I know you're ready for this. I'm ready for this. Let's see how many names of shows I can screw up tonight. So again, tweet PC18 is the hashtag. Definitely appreciate it. All right, we're right at the top of the hour. We'll get going here. Welcome to the 13th Annual People's Choice Podcast Awards. My name is Todd Cochran. I'm your host, and I'm also the founder of the People's Choice Podcast Award. It's my pleasure to bring you the award ceremony tonight in honoring the winners and, of course, the nominees of this year's annual event. I want to take time and thank the folks over at International Podcast Day, which we are part of right now. And I hope that you've taken time to visit the International Podcast Day website at internationalpodcastday.com. We've got a few hours left to participate, but we've had a great day listening to podcasters from all over the world. And again, I want to thank Dave and Steve Lee for allowing me to do the awards during the International Podcast Day. Of course, I want to thank all of the participating shows, all of you that registered to participate in the actual podcast awards itself and getting your listeners out to nominate your show. I want to thank the Podcast Awards Committee for their hard work and helping me shape the way the Podcast Awards should be moved forward over the next several years. And of course, those voters that we handpicked, or not handpicked, that we randomly selected to participate as voters, as part of the folks that were part of the nominating pool. I want to thank all the folks that took the time to go through and review shows and nominate shows that you thought best exemplified the category in which they were nominated in. And of course, I want to thank my tech partner, One Technologies, and specifically Tim Morris for taking care of the website and taking care of the back end, getting us through all the stages of the events and making sure things worked as it did and on schedule. And I'm very, very pleased. As many of you know, a couple of years ago, we did a fundraiser to rebuild the Podcast Awards website. I pretty much call the award site complete at this point. I don't think we're going to make many changes in out years. So it's good to be on new infrastructure. And of course, Tim and his team taking care of the back end and make sure everything works the way it should. And of course, more importantly, I want to thank all the listeners, all the podcast listeners that participated, and all the podcast listeners that are watching right now to see if your favorite show that was nominated have won the podcast. Without you, nothing would be at all possible in podcasting, because that's what we do our content for. I want to thank the sponsors. The sponsors are really help us make sure that the awards get done, that we can sustain the event, that we can pay for trophies, infrastructure, all the stuff that goes on and putting the awards forward. Of course, the first sponsor I just want to honor and thank is the folks over at Podnews. At podnews.net, they do a great newsletter. If you're not subscribed to this is a Monday through Friday newsletter that contains all the information about, well, let me just have James tell you about it.
If you're interested in podcasting, it's never been more important to keep up to date with the industry. From Google Podcasts to Apple and Spotify, Podnews covers it all. People moves, new jobs, events, and tech details for you to know about. Subscribe to Podnews now and get our daily email newsletter every day. It's a quick email with all you need to know. Podnews is your daily email briefing for podcast and on demand. Subscribe now. It's free. Just visit podnews.net.
I want to recognize a few more of our sponsors as well. The folks over at Codecast Podcast. And of course, Geek News Central. I want to thank the folks at the show Bribe, Swindle, or Steal podcast. And of course, Blueberry.com. I have a few more of the advertisers or a few more of the sponsors that we will announce a little bit later in the show. But I do want to thank those now for their participation and, of course, their support of the awards. You can find all the sponsors in the right-hand column of the website at podcastawards.com. Make sure you give each of their sites a visit. Of course, this is the second year with the new process. For those of you that are not aware and haven't been participating in the awards in years past, the awards changed dramatically 2 years ago. We made some major changes to the process, and we've learned some lessons over the past couple of years, and there's going to be some small tweaks for the 14th Annual People's Choice Podcast Awards. First thing is we're going to add more voters. We definitely did not have enough voters in the first pool of the randomly selected 1,000 listeners that had opted in to vote during the nomination process. We will definitely be adding more, probably going as high as 2,000, because invariably, not every listener that says they'll vote does vote. And we have to have a big enough pool. My goal in the end is to have at least 800 listeners go through and vote on the nominated shows. When we did the first batch this year, we only got about halfway. And so we added another 1,000 2 weeks into the voting period. Those folks came in and put us over the top. As a matter of fact, over 1,000 listeners voted for the nominated show. So next year, we're going to be dropping the mature category. That category was a little thin on shows that actually registered to participate in it. So we're going to replace the mature category. And in the spring, in the early spring, matter of fact, probably starting in the winter still, we're going to run a survey on podcastawards.com to have your input on which category we should add. So we'll be announcing that on the Podcast Awards website. So pay attention to things going on over there. Of course, paying attention to the 14th annual rule set and what we make changes for 2019. This year, we raised enough money for the trophies for all the winners. That's a great thing. In years past, that has been a struggle. We also are going to open up once again this year to allow the 2017 winners and nominees and the 2018 nominees are going to be able to order their own trophy if they want. And if a prior winner needs a replacement trophy or wants to order an additional one for a co-host, that will be available following the show tonight. Podcast registration, again, probably will open up in early January, probably January 4th or 5th, sometime around that time frame. But pay attention to the website, because the nomination period, the actual nomination period, may open several months earlier next year, as we may have a new partner for 2019. Those talks are still in discussion. we'll keep you advised on that. I want to, of course, congratulate the legacy shows. The legacy shows here at the Podcast Awards are very important. We have a rule set in that when a show wins a specific category 5 times over the lifetime of the awards, they become a legacy podcast and are no longer eligible to win a podcast award. They go into our legacy category, and you'll see many of the categories named after our legacy shows. I want to just go through those real quickly. Coverville, which is the PodSafe music category. ESPN Fantasy Focus Football in the sports category. Feast of Fools in the LGBTQ category. Free Talk Live, Politics and News. Manager Tools in the business category. Rob Has a Podcast in the entertainment category. The Skeptic's Guide to the Universe in the science and medicine category. This American Life and Arts category. This Week in Tech in the tech category. WDW Radio in the travel category, which doesn't exist any longer. The Majority Report in Politics and News, and Grammar Girl in Education. I want to congratulate all of the legacy podcasters, and of course, we look forward to honoring them as we move forward. Oh, I made a mistake. So I'm trying to run the show here one-handedly, and sometimes that works exactly the way it shouldn't here. So let's see if I can get the right page loaded. There we go. And let me load the right graphic, and we'll be able to continue on here with the awards. So what I want to do now is move into announcing the winners and make sure I get everything queued up right so I don't invariably disclose or involuntarily disclose a winner sooner than I should. So let me make the switch here. Again, I want to congratulate the 2018 winners and, of course, the nominees. And we're going to go ahead and start announcing the categories now. So if everything works right, when I switch this, in the arts category, the nominees are Better on Draft, Book, Who's Talking, Fairy Tales for Unwanted Children, Girl in Space, Hillbilly Horror Stories, Hysteria 51, Moms Don't Have Time to Read Books, The Folktale Project, Veteran Artist Program Podcast, and We Like Drinking. And the winner in the 2018 People's Choice Podcast Awards in the category of arts is We Like Drinking. Here is the folks from We Like Drinking and their acceptance speech.
In a world where 3 jerks have a podcast and they actually won something for it, they don't know how to say thanks.
Hey guys, we just found out that for the second year in a row in the arts category, the We Like Drinking podcast has won the podcast awards. And now it's time for the acceptance speech. So it's time for us to tell everybody thank you.
Okay, so what are we going to do?
I think I was pretty clear. We're going to say thank you.
Okay, when are we going
to who?
Okay.
To our family, to our listeners, to the judges, to each other. I mean, it's just say thank you.
Okay, yeah, cool. Whenever you're ready, let's do that.
No, like now. Just say it.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Who's going first? Me or you, Solomon?
John, you go first.
Okay.
Thanks.
Okay. Hey, thanks everybody.
Bye.
In the business category, the nominees are 5 Minutes to New Ideas, Bribe, Swindle, or Steal, Extraordinary Women Radio with Cami Goldner, Killer Innovations, Millennial Money, Money Making Sense, Read to Lead Podcast, The IA Effect, The Business Leadership Podcast, and the Chase Lounge podcast. The winner in the business category is Extraordinary Women Radio with Cami Gildner. And here is her acceptance speech.
Wow, I am so excited to accept this Best Podcast Award in the business category. Extraordinary Women Radio truly has been a passion project for me, and it's such an honor to partner with so many extraordinary women to tell their stories. Women who are making a difference, they're making an impact on the world. They are the change makers, they are the rule breakers, and they are stepping up to the plate. I've had the opportunity to interview so many CEOs, a former First Lady of Colorado, a federal judge, an astronaut who holds the longest walk in space record, a woman who has walked all the way around the earth, yes, all the way around the earth, and so much more. So many authors, there's just many extraordinary women. And thank you to my listeners and my community who voted to get me on the nomination list for the prestigious Best Podcast Award. And thank you for all my guests for saying yes to me. That's really what makes us all go around. Also, a special thanks to the Colorado Women's Hall of Fame, who has sent me so many of their inductees to interview on my show. It's been an honor to partner with you. The wisdom of these women that they have shared, they have shaped my own life, they have shaped my own business, and I know they're making a difference for the lives and businesses of all my listeners. Congratulations to all the podcasters out there, because as we know, this is a labor of love. Once you fall in love with podcasting, you get hooked. So see you on the podcast dial, and thank you, everyone.
In the comedy category, the nominees are Two Girls on a Beach, Bob and Sherry, Botched, a D&D podcast, More Questions Than Answers, Nerds with Words, Tell 'em Steve Dave, The Bearded Ones Comedy Podcast, The Detroit Cast, The Oddcast, and Weird. And the winner in the comedy podcast category is Two Girls on a Bench.
Okay, so these chips are really good. I think we can get... Oh, hi.
Oh, hey. I'm Shauna.
I'm Trisha.
And this is Two Girls on a Bench.
The podcast.
We are sitting on our bench. We write on the bench.
We snack on the bench.
And most of all, we procrastinate on the bench.
I forgot to say it with you.
Oh, that's okay.
And we'd like to thank the 13th Annual Podcast Awards for the nomination and our fans, actually, for the nomination and the awards for awarding us.
For being awarded.
In the comedy category, and we're so excited we don't even know what to say.
We
the little microphone is like sinking into the ground.
We're like the
orchestra
is playing. Yeah.
So
we want to thank our parents, we want to thank our husbands, we want to thank our kids.
Children,
dogs.
Our social media friends, the Work Life and Balance Pod peeps and the Podfix Network, No Phone Network, and everybody else that's listened to our show. All of you writers.
All you snackers.
That's right. Keep writing.
Keep writing and keep snacking. And
oh, yeah.
Most of all, I'd like to thank Christopher Walkenwood for inspiring us every day. Thank you all.
In the education category, the nominees are 80 Days, an exploration podcast, Curiosity Daily, Dig, a history podcast, Duolingo Spanish podcast, Footnoting History, Ladies First, One Thing in a French Day, Our Fake History, The History of Witchcraft, the Mad Scientist podcast. And the winner in the education category is Our Fake History.
Hi, everyone. This is Sebastian Major from Our Fake History. I can't tell you how delighted I am that Our Fake History has been chosen as this year's best podcast in the category of education. This would not have been possible if it had not been for the amazing community of listeners who have been supporting the show now for over 3 years. The only reason I was nominated was because the people who like the show and who believe in its message took the time to go to the website and nominate me. So if you are one of those people and you're listening right now, you rule. You are the best. Thank you again. I am very excited. Have a good night.
In the entertainment category, the nominees are Comics Verse, Ice Cream Social, Mighty Marvel Geeks, Pop Goes Your World, Remake This Movie Right, Stay Woke Podcast, Sword and Scale, Talk Nerdy to Me, The Star Wars Hour, We're Drunk and We Know Things. And the winner in the entertainment category is We're Drunk and We Know Things. Congratulations.
Hi, We're Drunk and We Know Things. We just want to thank you so much for this honor again. We want to thank our fans and our family and our various and many producers.
I mean, we didn't think we were going to win the first time, let alone the second time. So are you guys as drunk as we are right now? Cheers.
Thank you.
In the games and hobby category, the nominees are Arcade Attack, Blazing Defender Comic Book Report, Botched, a D&D podcast, Nintendo Switchcraft, Super Fun Time Trivia, The Gaming Outsider, The Polygon Show, The Reasons I'm Broke, The Smoking Hot Confessions Podcast, and Trivial Warfare. And the winner in the games and hobby category is Trivial Warfare. Congratulations.
Hi, everybody.
Hey.
We're Trivial Warfare.
Thank you so much for, what is it, nominating? No.
Yes, winning.
Well,
we won.
Thanks to all the listeners for nominating us for the Games and Hobbies Award. We appreciate it.
We love you guys.
And congratulations, Chris, and congratulations, Carmelo.
Thank you.
And congratulations,
Ben. Wait, where is Ben?
Hey, I'm back here. He's too short. You can't see him. Bye, guys.
Bye.
In the government organization category, I think we have the longest podcast name in existence in this category. And the nominees are the 5 Alarm Task Force News and Issues for Today's First Responders, Democracy Works, EM Weekly, Get Happy with Jay, Medicare Nation, Open Night, Sasquatch Syndicate Incorporated, Superfly Oz Podcast, the official Navy SEAL podcast, and What a Relief podcast. The winner in the government and organization category is Democracy Works. Congratulations.
Hey everyone, this is the Democracy Works team here. I'm Jenna Spinelli.
I'm Chris Beam. And I'm Michael Berkman.
And we just wanted to say thank you to everyone who has supported Democracy Works. We started the podcast less than a year ago, so to be nominated for this award and to have the level of support we've seen thus far has just really been great, and we're very, very much appreciative.
Yeah, we really thought that there needed to be a podcast that really talked about the issues of the day from the perspective of democracy kind of writ large, and we're really glad to see so many of you agree. So thank you.
And we have lots of people to thank for this. We're very appreciative of WPSU, our local radio station, whose studio we've been using and who has been helping to produce the show, to the McCourtney Institute for Democracy, which has supported the show, to our guests, to our listeners, and of course to Penn State. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. We've done about 2 seasons of the podcast so far, and looking forward to many more great episodes to come. So thanks again.
You're here. Thanks again.
In the health category, the nominees are A Better Night's Sleep, A Doctor's Perspective, Brown Chicken Brown Cow Podcast, Crunchy Cocktail Hour, Diabetes Connection, High Sobriety, Mental, the podcast to destigmatize mental health, Pursuit of Happiness, the 5 a.m. Miracle, the Virtual Couch. And the winner in the health category is A Better Night's Sleep. Congratulations.
This is just a quick note to say thank you for your support of the A Better Night's Sleep podcast. We're looking forward to bringing you season 2 with topics like allergies, pediatric sleep issues, and answers to listener questions. In the meantime, please get in touch with us on social media. We are at Military Health and by using the email address in the show notes. And as always, be sure to check out our other podcasts like the Military Meditation Coach and Next Generation Behavioral Health.
In the kids and family category, the nominees are Mom's Got This, Brains On, Cool Facts About Animals, Good Night Stories for Rebel Girls, the podcast, Oh, Behave, The Mom Hour, This American Kid, Uber Dad, What Fresh Hell, Laughing in the Face of Motherhood, Your Parenting Mojo. And the winner is, in the kids and family category, Cool Facts About Animals.
Thank you for nominating us for the 13th Annual Podcast Award.
Claire. Corduroy.
Hello, I'm Corduroy. My favorite animals. With a wee bee.
Theo, what's your favorite animal?
Favorite animal. Yeah. My favorite.
Come back. Grady, what's yours?
Oh, no!
Theo,
And
what's
my
yours?
favorite is hippos.
Hippos. Theo, do you have a favorite?
I do. What are hippos, elephants, and giraffes are my favorite animals. And rhinos.
Well, it's been a real honor to be nominated for this award.
Rhinos, gorillas, and jaguars.
They're very cool. Thank you so much, you guys. We really appreciate the honor, and we can't wait to give you some more podcasts about our favorite animals. Bye.
In the LGBTQ category, the nominees are A Gay and Non-Gay, An Older Gay Guy Show, Derek and Romaine, Gaysh, If These Ovaries Could Talk, Near and Queer to My Heart, Probably True Podcast, Tales of Insecurity, The Adam Sank Show, and Who Invited Her? And the winner in the LGBTQ category is Derek and Romaine. Congratulations.
I'm Derek Hartley, and I'm gay.
And I'm Romaine Patterson, and I am a lesbian.
I can't believe you're coming out right here in this video to celebrate us winning the Feast of Fun LGBTQ Podcast Award from the Podcast Awards.
I know, and as a gay person, this award means a lot to me because
I'm a lesbian.
A gay and lesbian is the same thing, Derek.
Is it?
Anyway, I'm just excited because I finally feel like I won an award for something I'm really good at, being a homosexual.
It's not a lesbian sex award. But we did win this award last year, and
Yes,
we
we
are
did.
thrilled because we happen to be double trouble ourselves to double time this award with you all. So thank you so much for your support, voting for us, and listening to our show.
Thanks for listening to Derek and Romaine. We really appreciate it.
And check us out on the web at derekandromaine.com.
In the mature category, the nominees are An Older Gay Guy Show, Gay Straight Debate, Good Looks, Bad Books, Cauldron's Crypt, a BDSM 101 podcast, Loving BDSM, The Detroit Cast, The Lonely Hearts Cafe, and Turn Me On. In the category of mature, the winner is Turn Me On. Congratulations.
Yes.
Yeah, right on.
This is awesome. Thank you all so much. It is such an honor to have been nominated for a podcast award, but to have won under the mature category is very cool.
Been very mature.
We're not that mature, but
You know.
the subject matter is mature.
Not PG-13.
Nope.
Thank you to our listeners. Thank you so much
Yeah.
for loving what we do and sending us your awesome feedback. Gets us better and better all the time.
Yeah, and thank you, babe. Thanks for.
Oh, no, thank you.
No, thank you.
Oh, thank you.
You're so generous to get on a mic and talk about your sexcapades and
Mhm.
allow me to talk about how embarrassing
I
my
just let you
sex
talk
is.
about whatever you want to talk about. That's why you're a podcaster. Thanks.
Yeah, well, this does mean so much, and congratulations to everyone else who's been nominated, and to everyone who wins an award tonight. This is really cool.
Yeah, happy podcasting.
Woo!
In the music category, the nominees are Cinematic Sound Radio, Drum Showroom, Gear Club Podcast, Listening to Ladies, Moto Podcast, Music in Two Flavors, Rock and Roll Archaeology, Soundography, The Modern Vinyl Podcast, W.B. Walker's Old Soul Radio Show. And the winner in the music category is The Modern Vinyl Podcast. Congratulations.
Okay, before we do our thank yous, we wanted to show you guys the amazing trophy that the Podcast Awards have delivered to us for being certified the greatest podcast, the music podcast.
The greatest music podcast.
Single-handedly
inventing music podcast.
Yeah, exactly. Mike, show us. Oh my God. Oh my Lord.
Don't drop it. Oh, no, don't drop that. Please set that down.
Beautiful. Set it down. We want to thank our listeners,
Jabberjaw Media, our podcast network,
our Patreon subscribers,
Carly Rae Jepsen,
Weezer,
our family and friends and neighbors.
Mostly neighbors
Our
for
pets, too.
not calling the cops
Yeah.
when they hear us screaming about whatever album we're screaming about and
Or
screaming
Weezer.
at each other in violent ways.
Yeah.
Anything else? Us?
No, well,
Can we thank each other?
Yeah,
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you too. You're welcome. Thanks, I appreciate it.
Now, before we go, we have an amazing highlight reel. Put so much effort into this. It's heartbreaking.
Our producer Britton went through all the footage that we had.
Thank you to producer Britton.
Yeah, Britton
who's behind
went
the
through
camera
all
right
our
now.
good moments, the bad, the good. He gathered
The ugly.
everything together in this great highlight reel.
And he got it done, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's cut to it.
Yeah. Roll tape. Yeah, roll it.
Thanks.
That's the way to do it, you guys. All right, and the next category is news and politics. Fisk 'em all or fuck 'em all? Consider this. Dumb all over. Pirate Radio Wise Guys. Pull Up a Chair Podcast. The Ezra Klein Show. Today Explained. Two Broads Talking Politics. UFO Buster Radio. Vox. The Weeds. And the winner in the news and politics category is Consider This. Congratulations.
Well, this is incredible considering the great competition I was up against. Thanks to the Podcast Awards people for making sure there was competition to go up against. Got to thank my incredible listeners to get this little show nominated. That includes friends from 40 years ago or so, friends from a couple of years ago, and it includes my mom. Thanks, Mom. I especially want to thank listener Barb Rankin. Back in 2016, I wasn't going to bother with the Podcast Awards, what with that $10, that very steep entrance fee, but she sent me an email that said, well, at least you got a nomination from me. Well, that gave me the impetus to gamble $10 and give it a shot. And I got nominated that year. So thanks, Barb, for getting the ball rolling, kicking me in the keister, and a bunch of other cliches. I also want to thank Bruce Hill, who gave me my first shot at podcasting, giving me a segment on his excellent, yet late and lamented, Shire Network News. Later on, he let me host and produce the show, and that gave me the experience I needed to start my own. I definitely want to thank my wife, who has been very patient and understanding lo these many years. Yes, I know politics is boring. So, again, thanks to the Podcast Awards folks for putting this on, and thanks to the judges who looked at my little corner of the podcast universe and said, let's consider this.
I want to take a moment and thank one of our podcast sponsors, the folks from Islamic Relief USA. It's been with us for a couple of years now. And they're celebrating, I believe, a 25th anniversary. And we'll play this promotional video from them. And again, thanks for Islamic Relief for being a sponsor here at the People's Choice Podcast Awards.
It all started with a call and a few young women and men who answered it. Join us this year as we look back over 25 years on a legacy of service and hope. The moments that have defined us, the stories that have moved us, the people who have built with us. Thank you for being a part of our story. Islamic Relief USA, 25 years together.
Our next category is religion and spirituality. The nominees are All Possibilities, Engaging Heaven Today, Exploring More with Michael Thompson, 5-Minute Devotions, For the Love with Jen Hatmaker, Jesus Calling Podcast, Touching Stories of Faith, Life After Addiction, MMM Locust, the John 330 Podcast, Unorthodox, and the winner in the 2018 People's Choice Podcast Awards category of religion and spirituality is For the Love with Jen Hatmaker. Congratulations.
Hey everybody, this is Jen Hatmaker, host of the For the Love podcast, and I am tickled and honored to receive this award for the religion and spirituality category. Oh my gosh, we have the best listeners on earth. Our podcast community is everything to us. Thank you. Thank you for listening every single week. Thank you for opening your arms to interesting and diverse guests and conversations and topics and ideas and perspectives. You are the smartest, most intelligent community ever. We love you. It is our joy to serve you. Thank you for coming in and week out. We have not missed a single week of podcasting in the 1 year we've been doing it. And millions and millions and millions of you listen. It's just crazy. It's bananas. We'll never get over it. And so thank you for being so loyal, for being great listeners, for subscribing, for sharing. We're thrilled about this. So we love you, and we will continue to serve you with all the energy and enthusiasm we have. And so on behalf of the For the Love podcast, this is me saying thank you so much for this honor.
The next category is Science and Medicine. The nominees are AFP, American Family Physicians Podcast, Blurry Photos, Brain Science, Neuroscience for Everyone, Curiosity Daily, Heart Sounds, Houston, We Have a Podcast, NASA in Silicon Valley, School of Batman, STEM Talk, and This Won't Hurt a Bit. The winner in the 2018 People's Choice Podcast Awards in the Science and Medicine category, the winner is Curiosity Daily.
Hi, we're so excited that Curiosity Daily won a 2018 Podcast Award. We are the hosts of the Curiosity Daily. I'm Cody Goff, the executive producer of the podcast.
I'm Ashley Hamer, and I'm the managing editor for Curiosity.com. I'm especially happy we won because the winner effect says that one win leads to even more wins. Anyway, if you like learning, then you will love Curiosity.com.
Just like on our podcast, the whole point of Curiosity.com is to help you get smarter in just a few minutes every day.
Yeah! Did you know learning styles are a myth? But this isn't. We write about the latest developments in science and technology, the surprising things that make you tick, and even cool places around the world that you've probably never heard of. Basically, anything that you're curious about, you can find on Curiosity.com.
I think part of the reason we won this award is because we're trying something pretty different. We put out an episode almost every day. It's always less than 10 minutes long. And we found that a lot of our listeners are actually really interested in listening to us as part of their Amazon Alexa flash briefing. So you can just add us on the flash briefing directory, search for Curiosity Daily from Curiosity.com, and we'll give you a little science update every day. Add it to your daily routine.
You can also find Curiosity Daily anywhere podcasts are found, obviously. And if you love learning, then you should download the Curiosity app. It's a 5-star app for Android and iOS, and we even offer a paid subscription version if you want to remove all of our ads. Just search for Curiosity.
Thank you so much for getting to know us, and we really hope that you listen to Curiosity Daily soon.
Thanks again from all of us at Curiosity.com.
The next category is Society and Culture. The nominees are Adulthood is Astonishing Legends, Crime Junkie, Disney Parks Podcast, NRI Woman Podcast, Smirk, Sword and Scale, The Guru Cast, Trace Evidence, and Travel Oddities. And the winner in Society and Culture category, the winner is Travel Oddities. Congratulations.
Hey, I'm Brett. And I'm Harley, and we're the hosts of the Travel Oddities podcast. First things first, I'd like to take the time to thank the People's Choice Podcast Awards for recognizing some of the best podcasters and podcasts in the business. You're absolutely right, Brett. But more importantly, we'd like to thank the fans and listeners of the show. Without you guys, we wouldn't have anything to do every week. Absolutely. There's so many of you to list, I don't even know where to start. So I'll just say this. From all of us at the Travel Oddities podcast, thank you for listening. Thank you for your votes. And as always, stay odd. Peace.
Once again, I want to take just a moment and thank one of our sponsors. It's the Jack Links 365 Dave's a Sports Radio Show. Here's a message from that team.
Melton. Do you know Melton is the hottest place on earth?
Melton is the hottest place on earth.
Because it's Melton.
Not sure if that'll make the edit. Guess that guest.
God, you and your
Here
party.
we are.
No wonder your mother doesn't listen.
In the sports category, and I must mention here, the sports category is always one of the most hotly contested categories in the podcasting space for the awards. It is also the largest actual category following religion in the entire podcasting space. So sports and recreation, this was a tough category for all the participants. But the nominees are 30 for 30 podcast, Around the NFL, BS3 Sports Show, Eat, Sleep, Fantasy, the Fantasy Baseball Today, the Fantasy Football Today, Move the Sticks, Packers Fan Podcast, Seahawkers Podcast, and the Fantasy Footballers. And the winners in the sports and recreation category is the Fantasy Footballers. Congratulations.
Whoa! Woo! What an honor this is.
Thank you.
To bring home the Sports and Recreation Award for a third year in a row. We are thrilled. Andy, Mike, and Jason from the Fantasy Footballers podcast. This speaks to our incredible audience. We just want to thank you. It is all about you. Everything we do is about our audience.
I got my throggles on.
Those are your throggles?
for
we
the
really
three.
appreciate
my three
it.
goggles.
We really appreciate it. A big shout out to the Foot Clan.
I see you. I see you out there.
We love you guys. Thank you so much for voting for us. This means a lot. We're happy to represent you guys with winning this award for the third year in a row. Thank you so much.
In the technology category, the nominees are Blockchain 2025, Darknet Diaries, Next Generation Behavioral Health, Recode Decode, hosted by Kara Swisher, Smashing Security, The Retro Hour, The Verge Cast, This Week in Machine Learning and AI, Waves of Tech, and Why'd You Push That Button? And the winner in the technology category, the winner is Why? Why'd you push that button?
All right. Ready, girl? Mm-hmm. Okay. Oh my gosh. Thank you guys so much. I'm Ashley Carmen.
I'm Caitlin Tiffany.
And we host Why'd You Push That Button, which is a show about all the choices we make with technology, which they should definitely already know because you voted for us and we won.
Hopefully, or we lost and you hate this video.
And you never see it, ever.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Anyway, we want to thank our producer, Andrew Marino, and The Verge's editor-in-chief, Nilay Patel, for helping us build this podcast.
We'd also like to thank our listeners. Their participation was passive, but much appreciated.
We love your Twitter DMs, so please send us more. All right, season 3 is coming out soon. You can subscribe anywhere you usually find podcasts, and we'll see you soon. Bye.
In the TV and film category, the nominees are Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. fan podcast, based on a true story, Beyond Westworld, Nerd On, the podcast, Outlander Cast, The Blacklist Exposed, The Cinema Guys, The Hollywood Outsider, Twin Peaks Unwrapped, and finally, We Look, Shut Up. And of course, the winner in the TV and film category is Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. fan podcast. Congratulations.
Thank you so much for this award. Since about 2006, going on 13 years, we've been podcasting and we've done our best to create fun yet informative podcasts. And it wouldn't have happened without Alex and Mello and XD and Big Mike and John and Amy and others who've helped build the network and our amazing community of fans around the globe. This is such a great honor. Alex?
Thank you very much. You know what? It's been a long and wonderful journey of podcasting over the last 13 years with all the various shows we've done. But we could not have done this without the fans. And it's because of our community that we've earned this prestigious award. So thank you. And I've been really enjoying doing this. And the best thing is I get to do it with one of my best friends. So.
Amen to that. So podcasting has been a huge blessing to my life. Like Alex said, hanging out with a great friend like Alex is always fun. And all the other podcasters we've met over the years that we have now built friendships with, it's been a lot of fun and it's all very humbling. So thank you for this podcast award. And hey, maybe we'll be back here again soon.
Thank you.
Before I announce the People's Choice Podcast Awards, I want to take just a moment to thank all of you for your participation this year. And of course, seems like I'm destroying the English language all night tonight. But again, thank you for your participation. And I want to make sure that all of you that participated all in this process take the time to thank your listeners for coming over and nominating you, and of course, basically just supporting your show in general. This is a big effort to make listeners come over and do this activity. It shows that your audience is engaged when they do so. And this is really part of the People's Choice Podcast Awards philosophy. Sure, we could have a committee and we could just come up with a list of nominees and we could go through and pick some shows every year, but that wasn't the spirit of how the awards were set up. The spirit of the awards was truly to be designed so that while we do require shows to register to participate, we wanted then those shows that are participating in the awards to engage their audiences to come over and nominate them during the nomination period. And from there, see what kind of engagement you get to be able to make the slate. So all of the 220 shows that have been nominated have really achieved something significant here. And at the same time, the folks that are going to be announced next in the People's Choice Podcast Awards category, there's always a special place in my heart for this specific category. And of course, it's named the Adam Curry People's Choice Podcast Award. And the reason for that is because Adam Curry is the podfather of podcasting along with Dave Weiner. And that oftentimes goes unrecognized in the space to know where we come from those early days back in 2004 when podcasting was just getting off the ground. I was lucky enough to be there at the very early days. And matter of fact, my show is going to reach its 14th anniversary the first week of October here in the next week. So it's been an amazing ride in the podcasting space, and we have a long ways to go. And this is just a small way for us to really recognize shows that are out there that are really engaging their audiences and stepping it up. And this isn't a popularity contest about the biggest shows, because we pick the voters across a wide spectrum of nominees. So someone that came into the awards and nominated a show that didn't even make the slate may have actually ended up being one of the listeners that actually voted in the process. And I think that really is a statement to how this awards is a little bit different than everything else. But again, it's my pleasure to have been bringing you the awards ceremony. At some point, we'll grow this into a full-blown red carpet situation and be fully produced. But for now, I want to thank you. This is a independent podcast created production. And I hope that you've enjoyed the awards tonight. So I'll quit talking here, and I'll go ahead and load the category. Let's see if I can do this without messing things up. And we'll go into the next stack here, and we'll get you out of here. All right. The nominees for People's Choice, for the Adam Curry People's Choice Podcast Award, the nominees are Around the NFL, Bob and Sherry, Derek and Romaine, Fantasy Football Today, For the Love with Jen Hatmaker, Outlander Cast, Tell 'em Steve Dave, The Fantasy Footballers, Trivial Warfare, Vox, The Weeds, and the 13th Annual People's Choice Podcast Award winner is, and congratulations goes to, the Fantasy Footballers. Congratulations.
Whoa, a third straight People's Choice
Ba-blam!
Award. We didn't do this.
Ba-blam!
I wish Jason was here to celebrate with us.
What? The People's Choice 3 years in a row?
I gotta
Thank
bust
you,
them
Foot
out.
Clan. Look, in all sincerity, you got them throggles on?
Throggles!
Ridiculous, Mike. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Wow.
Foot Clan, our listeners, you are the best listeners in the entire podcasting universe. This is unquestionable. It is undeniable. You are the Foot Clan. You are mighty, and we love you all so much.
We really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thanks to Todd and podcastawards.com for the honor. It really means a lot to us. We do this all day long, every day, and it's something we put our heart and soul into. So thank you, everybody who voted and contributed to this fine award.
It's been my absolute pleasure to bring you the 13th Annual People's Choice Podcast Awards. Congratulations to all the winners. Your names will be up on the website for the next year, and of course then archived into the past winners. And when we start nominations next year, enjoy the traffic that you're going to get from all the search results that come from where people come in looking for shows. This is a job well done to all of you. And again, for those that were even just made the nomination slate, it's a big deal as well. Many of these categories were neck and neck when it came to actual winning votes. So sometimes ones of votes. It was really, really close. So again, congratulations to everyone. It's been my pleasure to bring you the event. I'll sign off for now. But again, thank you for joining me tonight here on the People's Choice Podcast Awards. Don't forget, we've got continued coverage here of the International Podcast Day. Don't go anywhere. We're going to switch to regular programming and talk with the team at International Podcast Day before the next session. So everyone take care. We'll see you back here next year for the 14th Annual People's Choice Podcast Award.